Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the Revolution, welcome to this week's episode of the RNG Cast. I, as always, sort of filling in, kind of. This is awkward for me too, but this is your boy Raven. Joining me today is...
Your buddy known as Alex. What's up, guys?
So, before everyone starts crying at the end of the world, Buster awoke and discovered he had no voice. So write it down in your calendars. We have found the one thing that will keep the Buster Knuckle off of the RNG cast. He's been able to work around internet problems and many a myriad of things, but a lost voice is what did him in. But we are going to do our very best to have the first ever, after 70 episodes, Buster has missed an episode. But don't worry, we're still here for you. So, all in all, Alex, what have you been up to in Destiny this week, buddy?
Oh my goodness, I've accomplished so much in Destiny this weekend.
Nice.
Got the raid done, finally.
Nice.
That was a pretty awesome thing. Took about 7 random LFG groups to finally get to the final boss and lost a crew there and then kept searching and searching, found a crew that knew what they were doing and knocked it out. 3 tries, or 3 solid tries, and I was like, all right. After the first try, I kind of figured this crew knew what they were doing because we got into damage phase number 2, and we're like he was down to a quarter of health, and we're like, all right, this is the team to stick with. So I stayed with them, and yeah, sure enough, 3 tries later, knocked it all out of the park, and it was pretty stoked. I was like, yeah, got that done. That was a checkbox check there. Then after that, tried for some trials, got up to 5 wins, and that was about it. Haven't found the LFG group to carry me yet. But it's getting there. I'm working my way up there. Loving the what's it called? That hand cannon, the
Better Devils or
Better Devils. Yep.
yeah.
That's my primary choice there. Better Devils, then Trials Scout Rifle.
Yeah.
That one.
That one's nice.
And a sniper rifle. So either the linear fusion rifle Tarantula, or now I'm in love with the Trial sniper rifle.
I haven't had to try the Trial Sniper yet, but I'll tell you what, the Trial Shotgun.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
It's got impact for days, man. It's like sweet Christ, man. It is nice. I've done a few milestones, weekly milestones. I haven't gotten my feet wet into the raid this week yet, but at the same time, I'm finding myself okay with not doing certain things in Destiny right away. I'm kind of, it's like after like what can be said, what is an insane amount of consumage of Destiny, or Destiny 2 as it released. I went through a lot of content really fast, so I'm kind of okay with relaxing in my Destiny 2 life right now. I'm finding myself not worried about completing the raid just yet, which I haven't yet. Of course, like I said, I haven't been able to run it since I tried last week. But then again, it's still early in the weekend, so I'll probably find like a pickup group maybe, either probably tonight or tomorrow. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I've just been, like I said, just enjoying things in general.
That's good. Did you see what's going on with the raid? How they're changing up the trials order? So now instead of doing bathhouse first, then the pleasure gardens, then gauntlet, they mixed it up now. So now it's pleasure gardens first, then I think bathhouse, then gauntlet.
Oh, you see, actually, no, I haven't seen that yet. Because, like I said,
Yeah,
I haven't oh wow,
it's
that's
pretty
nifty.
cool.
Yeah, that's
It's
nifty.
pretty interesting. It gives a chance for those people that can't get through a certain part to try the part after it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's really cool. Because you see, I was wondering, like, in the back of my mind, like running through everything. I was curious on why, like, you basically had to open a door. You had like, because this is the first like raid that had like a central hub area
Yeah.
that you're always going back out and to open the next door, and then you're heading back out to the central area to open the next door. And like I said, it was a curious thing because I mean, Bungie has never had like a hub area for a raid. It's always been like a linear encounter. But yeah, that's really cool to like to hear that they're that, and you're kind of you you kind of can't like prepare 100% unless like you're told like what's first and what's not. But like I said, when you first load in, it could be kind of a surprise on what you're doing first.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first people that loaded up this week were ready for Bathhouse.
I know, right?
And they're like, wait, why isn't this door opening, or why isn't the artifact here at this door?
It should be right here, right? And right
Yeah.
there, right? It's like, nope.
No, gotta open the other ones first.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's like
Yeah.
here.
Then we finally got the first news of the faction rallies or faction battles that we're gonna be
Yes.
having. That
Yes.
looks awesome. I can't wait. I kind of figured it. I knew it was gonna be something like that. Remember I called
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, pick your sides. This is what's gonna happen. And sure enough, it's pick your side. If your side wins, you get this gun for cheap. If your
Yeah.
side
Super
loses,
freaking
you can
cheap.
still get the gun, but it's expensive. It's half your money, like literally half your max amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. Really.
Which isn't that hard to get though. Like
Not
I
super.
tried measuring it out. It takes me about 2 days to max out my glimmer from like dead nothing from buying all these mods, like weapon
Yeah.
mods and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
to going back up to max amount. It takes about 2 days of patrolling of killing things. Titan seems to be the fastest one for me to get the max amount of glimmer, just running around killing things and
Sure.
playing all the public events as much as possible. Yeah.
And you do know there's still ghost perks that actually help your glimmer income depending upon what planet you're on.
Yeah. I have a ghost for Titan that shows me
Yeah.
where the catches are and where the materials are.
Yeah.
The little bubble sticks or whatever those are things they're called. I
Yeah.
don't even know.
On Titan, I think it's no, no, no. Oh, no, no. On Titan, it's Alkine.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one.
It's like Alkine
So,
something.
yeah, I have one ghost that shows me those two. So I was like, all right, that works. And then I just bounce from one what do you call it, public event to another,
Yeah.
just just because they're so close by to each other and so easy to do. The heroic one, the heroic witch one is pretty fun, where you get the
Yeah.
two big old knights to knock out.
Yeah. 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 I mean, and actually, it's hilarious because one of those, like speaking of heroic, like I've pretty much now, like at least since launch, have mastered heroicing, or at least know how to heroic them all. The one I was missing, like intimate knowledge of, was of course the witch ritual because it's only on Titan.
Yeah.
But actually, we actually did it like once, and we found out like the mechanics behind it, and hilarious. Like I started laughing when here comes Ala Cool's brother. It's like
Pretty much.
really, really. It's like this is interesting. Which I mean, like I can definitely see. It's like because this is one thing I've kind of like wanted to talk about is the fact that a lot of people made mention that before D2 released that it didn't really feel like a sequel.
Hmm.
All right, it felt like Destiny 1.5.
Yeah.
After the game launched, I mean, there's a lot of different things in Destiny 2, like true to fact, like just the fact that the weapon economy has changed because it's kinetic energy power rather than, like I said, all one-hit kills are under power. There are no one-hit kill abilities except for supers. I mean, a lot has changed in the more intricate aspect of Destiny. But to be honest, not a lot has changed in the general aspect of Destiny. It's like it looks prettier. The particle effects are way out of this world. Like the shader effects, my God, these legendary shaders. Like some of them have that like kind of pearlescent like refraction on them.
Yeah, the shines.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, that looks so good, and they are like heads and heads and shoulders above anything that was in Destiny 1, except
Oh
for
yeah,
Rise of Iron, when they started when the Trials weapons were actually gold in Rise of Iron rather than a pale yellow.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, we're getting a lot more of that. But like I said, I can see the argument that yes, it's kind of a Destiny 1.5, but I'm still holding to the argument if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And everything that wasn't wrong with Destiny 1 hasn't been touched.
yeah.
I mean, and like, everything that needed a tweak, like, oh my god, I keep saying there's so many quality of life changes in Destiny 2 that it is ridiculous.
So much easier.
My
so much,
god, the
so much
map,
smoother
the
than,
fast
yeah,
traveling, it's like,
yeah,
my gird. Oh, is so much nicer to be able to, like I said, considering they made public events a thing with flashpoints. I mean, and they made it so much easier to do that. Which also, I've got to say, like, this week's flashpoint surprised me. The fact that it was so easy. I was used to about, what, 6 to 8-ish public events.
yeah.
And you only need, like, 3 or 4 heroics to complete it this week. Because Titan, it isn't that big. There's only, like, 3 public events on the map.
Yeah, and these heroic ones are actually, I think, a little bit more difficult than the other ones. The fact that you get
Oh,
two spider tanks
oh yeah, good job,
instead
guys.
of one, and then you also get the witch that you have to stand on the plate to kill, or else
Yeah.
you just get melted, or you just can't do damage to them.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I feel like the public events on Titan are a little bit tougher, and I think that's probably why they did it.
That could
But
be.
either way, it's pretty awesome thing though.
Oh,
They made
yeah.
it a lot more easier.
Oh yeah, there's so many there's so many ritualistic which I guess ritual is kind of the wrong term now since they're now milestones,
Yeah.
weekly milestones. But there are actually so many that you can do by yourself now that give you these Nightfall tier rewards or what used to be Nightfall tier rewards. But yeah, these I'm always amazed to see how much crap gives you powerful rewards. It's like
Yeah,
this
they
game has fixed that from Destiny. Like this game rewards you. Like, yeah, sometimes it feels like it rewards you for taking a step, but hey, it's a rewarding game.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's like every reset, there's that one little bump, and then what I'm hearing too is there's a light block too. So everybody right now is stuck at 305. Like right now, that is the highest
Gotcha.
light you can possibly get. Which I'm like, all right, I'm right there. I'm at 303. I just got there, so I'm like, if I
Is
hit
that
that light cap, that's good.
is that including the legendary mods?
That's including legendary mods,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's what
So
I.
so 305 right now is the max that you could possibly
So,
get, like any kind of armor, any kind of weapons,
oh,
because
okay.
Bungie says so, and it's on I think a time lapse. So I'm pretty sure next week when the factions come out, they're gonna make it so it's a little bit higher. So you're gonna start seeing people at like 320, maybe
Yes.
330, because I doubt they're gonna release it right at 3, because the weapons say 350, right? That's what
Yeah,
the
yeah, Max.
maximum like. Yeah, and then the fact that no one's there yet and everybody's around 304, 305, that
Yeah.
just shows you that, yeah, there is a block there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Which I mean, definitely makes sense. That there is some kind of like hard cap there. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah. Speaking of, like you said, the faction rally information is out thanks to the
Yep.
Twab, Cube, Chibbity Beep Bop Dope. Anyway, they have released the information that factions are well. I can't say factions are returning because technically factions are in the thing because the game calls the faction like the people on the planets factions as well. So your
Mm-hmm.
old factions are returning. Arak Jalal, uh,
That orbit.
Executor Hideo, and
Mm.
the Lakshmi 2? If I can
Yeah.
remember their names, like right off the top of my head, which actually kind of makes me sad. But anyway, enough about my nerdy life. Um, Yes, they are coming back. Bungie has released snippets of images of their weaponry and armors. Which, why is it like every time they do this, I always like, which is hilarious because it's also like the format that Bungie themselves like headed the article with. Like my Hunter's Future War Cult, my Titan is New Monarchy, my Warlock is Dead Orbit, and like that's the armor set I like the most from. It's like I like the way the Warlock Dead Orbit looks best, and like just so on and so forth. But
Mhm.
and like I said, I do enjoy the fact that um it's basically like I said with the Mortal Kombat X with their faction wars. It's pretty much that. It's like whoever is the most active, you win, and if you win, you get a weapon for like 1,000 glimmer.
Yeah.
If you don't, you can still get your weapon. It's fine, but you're gonna have to save up a lot.
The good thing is they're just releasing one weapon at a time, though.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, it's
Um,
one per crew, which kind of sucks because eventually that's what's going to make people say, well, eventually New Monarchies or Dead Orbit's got to win because we really want that scout rifle. It's going to be the choice of the weapon more than the factions. Well, what's good this
oh, for
game?
sure. Yeah,
The sidearms are decent, so we might want the sidearm. Well, the auto rifle looks better, and auto rifle seems to be the powerful play right now. So let's
yeah,
everybody go for the auto rifle. And I think that's what's gonna split the crews up, and what's gonna motivate people to get out of their, you
oh yeah,
know,
for sure.
set factions. It's gonna be the weapon of choice
Yeah.
more than anything.
Of course, for me, I'm still doing like one faction per character, and I'll look at the weapons
Hmm.
because good God, getting them all every week, that's going to be expensive. Like, or every time they come around, getting like all three of them is going to be expensive. I mean, you're going to have to save up to Glimmer Cap just to buy just buy the two losers, and then run around and collect 1,000 Glimmer to get the winners thing.
You, you think that they're gonna release the other two weapons? So you think they're gonna release all three weapons, but the one that wins is cheap. The other two are gonna be expensive. I thought they were just
That's
gonna release the winner's weapon, and the winners get it for cheap, and the losers have to pay the expensive price for that one weapon.
I can see what you're saying, but at the same time, hmm,
Because that's where I think the motivation's gonna come to. Because if they
that's
if
true.
they
That would
just
be
say
that
all
would be
three
good.
weapons come out at the same time, people are just gonna be like, it doesn't. Then the faction doesn't
Exactly.
matter. I could just glimmer farm, and here you go. I could buy the weapon I really wanted anyways.
Exactly.
So if they just release one weapon at a time, that's where I think we're gonna start getting that systematic thing where we can predict what community is gonna play off of, which kind of is scary because that means just the beginning of these faction rallies is going to be where you can get every single type of weapon because it's going to be bouncing around. People are going to want that other weapon because they don't have it and they want it
Yeah, for sure,
to
for sure.
test it out, do the YouTube videos and everything like that.
Yeah,
And then later on, when these weapons become meta, and once people find out, oh well, this one's way better than the other ones, then you know that the other ones aren't going to even get a chance anymore.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And like I said, your idea definitely has the incentive because as I was thinking about it, it's like there kind of was no incentive, so it's kind of like okay, why? But yeah, 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 like I said, your pattern of thinking definitely makes a lot more sense for the incentive part. Which is weird because, like I said, you can still pledge to a different faction like per character. It's like character lock, just not like account lock, which that's good. And as Bungie states, once you have chosen your side, your mission will be to return to the wild and complete activities in support of your faction. You can do public events, explore lost sectors, complete strikes, clear the raid, or compete in the Crucible. As you complete these activities, you will be rewarded with faction tokens that you can turn in for packages full of loot. So you pledge to a faction, you play the game, you turn in your tokens, and I guess whoever basically earns the most tokens within that time span, well, you get a weapon.
I wonder if the tokens will stack. So say if you don't want to turn it in this week because you know your crew is going to lose, like, there's no way, this other weapon looks way better than the others. You hold on to your tokens till the following faction week or faction, thing, and then you turn them into like double your chances, so that way you give them a head start pretty much with extra tokens.
I would say yes, but that's also assuming that Bungie hasn't like thought of that
Uh,
already.
yeah.
But considering that they already have it where your raid keys get deleted or reset,
Do they? Oh,
yeah, like
that's news to me. I had three of them.
yeah, I think that's a
Oh
thing that they want. I'm wanting to say I read it somewhere. I'm scanning the TWAB right now. Um,
no!
trials design, equip step, occasionally objects, blah blah blah, clan engrams.
So upset right
Oh
now.
wait,
I
wait.
had like three keys. I gotta
Okay,
check
okay,
now.
okay. Here's the thing. Because here's like an issue. If a player creates a new character after an alternate character has earned a raid key on a given week, they will be erroneously removed from the character inventory. But note, raid keys are removed by design with each weekly ritual reset. They are designed at reset to go bye-bye.
Yeah, they're gone. They're not in my inventory. I just checked.
Yep. So,
Man, I
yes.
missed out on all of that. Is
Don't worry, you didn't miss out on much. You missed out on the chance of exotics, true, but you didn't miss out on much. Because that's my least liked part of the raid is getting your extra chests.
yeah. It's kind of a pain if you don't have the team that wants to do it like right off the bat. And then you have to find some other group of people because just to get into that place, you need a team of at least 3 or 4 people to hit the levers.
Well, you can solo those levers.
Can you?
Yes, yes. Our first
Well,
time in it, our first time running the raid, I was with raid group. Actually, no, it wasn't my first time. It was one. It was the first time I actually went under and like knew about like when I first learned about the chest. I was in a group with, uh, I think it was Forest Huntress, Berg. I actually replaced Berg at that point in time. Uh, Crap, I know I'm forgetting people, and you're gonna hate me, but anyway. But Terry actually, who we were raiding with, actually showed us, and we sat there and watched him like run back and forth between these levers and do it. So it's
ah,
possible. I mean, he was a hunter, so maybe he had like a lot of mobility because I didn't inspect him like and see what he was doing. But yeah, it's you can
mhm.
definitely solo those levers.
Well, that's good to know. Damn it, that made me even more mad that my keys disappeared. I was sitting on a thing, oh man, I need a team. I posted up like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a team to do chess and never got hit up. So I was like, man, now I'm even more upset at the fact that I could have done it solo. Oh well,
Which
live and learn.
yeah, after opening a couple chests with keys, it's like we tried to raid again, like the next day before this past reset, and it's like so we got one more key, and it's like, so anybody want to unlock these? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll see y'all later. I mean, I'm fine because like yeah, just the fact like I'll wait for there to be like because someone's already working on a map of the underbelly of the Leviathan, as I'll
Hmm.
call it, and it's almost complete, and that's when I'll start like rummaging around and like when I can pinpoint, okay, I need to go here, and I need to go
Yeah.
here, because like I said, as much as I love this raid, I love every encounter in this raid, and I've actually at least played every encounter because we did make it up to like since I was last like since we last recorded, I think either the next night or that night, we actually made it to Callus.
Mm.
Which that was kind of a painful thing because our group hadn't run Callus, like nobody had that much experience at Callus,
Hmm.
so we were kind of freshly figuring some aspects out because we had like 2 people like in the or 3 people in the shadow zone, we had 3 people outside,
Hmm.
but um, but yeah, there came to a point, which I still actually haven't figured it out because I still haven't watched a video for it, which I keep meaning to. But there's a point in time where Callus takes up we're going to call it a Christ-like pose because that's what it looks like. Um, but either way, it's like people on the outside like start dying, and it's like, so what do we do? And everyone's like, I don't know. It's just like, fantastic. Thank you. So we actually pretty much before we could actually figure out the how of it, we pretty much had to go and disband. But like I said, I've been meaning to watch a video to find out just
Yeah.
what the crap to do. Because considering I made it to the last encounter, did probably about 75% of that raid blind. I'm pretty well, I like being able to figure out what I can as I can. But after the first week, that's when I'm starting to like watch videos. It's like after that, it's like enough people know the raid that you're kind of becoming a detriment to those like wanting to stay blind. You almost become a detriment to those that can run it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I give myself a week, and usually it's pretty consistent so far. I will figure out about 75. Like every raid I've done blind, I've pretty much figured out about 75% of it. Like with my first groups.
Hmm.
So one of these days, maybe I'll complete a raid blind. I wouldn't count on it because I also kind of have like patience issues sometimes in figuring puzzles out. So that's probably not going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, TWAB. Like if you haven't read the TWAB, definitely look at the TWAB because the artist parade or the
Oh
G2
yeah.
art parade
So pretty.
is so nice. It's like they pretty much showcase the guy, I believe, since his name is attached to it, he designed the Mida Mini tool. Which, like I said, that's an interesting piece. And Bungie, we still need a Mida power tool, please, please, Bungie, please. I mean, it's. I'm surprised Bungie has not taken advantage of the power tool because it's a pun, since it would be a power weapon. And
Hmm.
there are power tools. It's like Bungie. It's right up Bungie's alley.
I'm
It's got the
calling shotgun.
pun. It doesn't matter. I don't care. We just need a Mida power tool, sniper rifle, shotgun, grenade launcher. I don't care. Actually, please don't make it a grenade launcher.
No, not
They
a
kind of
grenade.
suck. Poor grenade launchers. I think that's about it for the 12, though. Other than movies of the week, which I barely pay attention to. There's apparently a cover. Yeah, the movie of the week winner was a metal cover to the song "The Journey,"
Yep,
which I
I
haven't
saw
heard
that.
myself.
It's pretty awesome.
Okay, I might have to give it a listen because I love like a lot of people may know about me. I don't listen to a lot of music, but I am into like listening to like remixed video game music. That's like a nice thing for me. That's kind of like my weakness or passion or whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
All right, so that's the 12. Those are weeks in Destiny. We do have a couple of questions. If I can find out where I put them, because I'm organized. There's a reason I don't run this show. You're finding it out right here, right now.
I'm still too new to know what to do.
I've been doing this for like 70 episodes.
Oh, should be pro by now.
No, not this aspect. I'm like a fish out of water right now. I'm gasping, gasping. All right. So we did have I reached out. We did have a couple of responses for topics, which one came early, pretty much right after. I think it might have been like right before we released an episode.
Hmm.
But either way, one of our patrons, Fred Bob Bazooka, put out the question: Destiny 1 Crucible is more fun than Destiny 2 Crucible. Agree or disagree? And I'm going to say this. Both are actually my answers, like legitimately, because there are aspects of Destiny 1 Crucible that was way more fun than what you can do in Destiny 2. But at the same time, you're actually comparing apples and oranges because it's two different like setups, essentially. I did enjoy like certain aspects. There were certain aspects of Destiny 1 Crucible I did enjoy, like the fact that you had grenades, like, if you're a cheesy piece of crap like me and using like running an arc blade with double sticky nades, or just a sticky nade and it's up like every 12 seconds with Tarantella, because I was a douchebag and I did that. Then yeah, that can be fun. But at the same time, it's like with D2, I mean, well, you definitely have to like roll and roam as a team. And I like that team tactical, like, because, okay, you don't always have to roam as a team, but it puts more important. You can't just like lone wolf and not say anything and like try and go for certain flanks like all the time. You actually have to coordinate. You have to make sure your team knows. You have to make sure your team's like covering you. And that's like the success in this crucible right now is communication and even tactics. And like I said, it's just very different from D1, because in D1 Slayers could prosper. In D2, you just have to communicate more, really. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I'm loving D2 Crucible a little bit more than I did D1. I mean, D1 Crucible was fun, and I feel like it was a lot of, relying on your grenades, relying on, taking the lead with your grenades instead of, teamwork. Like one person could take down a four-man team
Oh yeah.
with the right grenade placement. In D2, though, you use that grenade, you're hoping for the best. You can possibly get one, maybe two if you're decent. But to try to get a full team of four, man, I need to see new montage clips because I just want to see how they do it. I want to see a person go and take down an entire team in trials on their own and how they do it, and see if it's the team's fault for not being close together or if it's that person just being that amazing with shots or with plays and things like that. Like I've done it where I've knocked out three people, and that's just because they're completely separate. So it's just pretty much three 1v1s,
Yeah.
then not three versus one. And that's the biggest difference for me between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 is that team base. Everybody feels it, everybody sees it. It's pretty damn noticeable.
It is. Like I said, it's painfully obvious. I mean, you cannot. I mean, you just can't loan. Like I said, you cannot loan like, whatsoever. If you attempt to go, like, if you turn a corner and you're facing a team of four, chances are you're already dead. Like from the moment
Yeah.
it's like, oh, they're all four here, guardian down. Like
Yep.
usually, that's at least that's my issue. Like if I'm turning a corner just to look, oh, there's one. Oh crap. Yep, there's four there. I'm down. But like I said, grenades. I do love the fact that everything feels like your abilities actually feel a little amped up, and they feel like they matter more in D2,
Mm.
considering they don't come around as often. But they can like really really help you. Like one of my favorite things to do on my Titan is running the top tree, which gives you the double nades, using
Yep.
pulse nades, and like before I even get into a firefight, you toss a pulse nade on top of someone and then start shooting, pretty much guaranteeing the win of a 1v1. And if anyone's in the vicinity, depending upon your skill, you can at least try to like make it out of that firefight too. Like I said, all things depending. But like I said, it's just more thought that goes into this crucible. I feel.
Yeah. Definitely takes more of a different type of mental state for, for you to be successful in D2. I still haven't figured it out yet. I still haven't found the crew that I can mesh in well together. We always get separate. I feel like I'm more of the scout now. Like before in Destiny 1, I was the Slayer. I was the one staying behind,
Yeah, yeah,
cleaning up kills. In D2 though, I feel like I'm the scout. I'm the one that's peeking around a corner, like calling out, all right, there's two around,
yeah, yeah.
two in keyhole, and then I'll run back and run away, wait for my team to come up, and then pounce on them when they're not looking. But it's just a different feel, just to try to find that play style that meshes well with other people. It's tough, especially
Oh, for sure.
with the extra person now. Instead of three, you got four. So it's tough.
Yeah,
It's gonna
and
be.
that's the thing, like, because it's like it's a harsher learning curve. Also, I feel like in this whole setup, because when you're running up against two or more people, Like, I mean, the team shot is so strong. Like, it just
Yeah.
feels so strong here that, I mean, it can be hard to learn, like, from how to get around a 2v1 even. And like I said, if you're running into four of them,
Good
good
luck.
luck. Especially if you have a rocket.
Let's hope you get at least one to keep your KD okay.
I mean, I did at one point in time, technically. Well, I got a triple down, like with one of my Titan slams.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I activated on one person, ran around a corner, and there was two people there. So I just hit the button for an extra slam and prayed that I got them before they killed me, which I did get them. So pray for me. Um, and then like I let my super run out because, like I said, that was a kill of three, and respawn timer would have put them like halfway across the map. So it's like I'm fine. But so yeah, I was able to do that, which made me feel good. It's like I had like the thought, and like things just happened how I wanted them to, and it worked out, which it could have very easily not worked out. Um, because that's the thing. Because even though things feel strong, nothing feels like too strong. I also feel because like
Hmm.
super, it is almost so easy to like shut down a super if there's enough distance. Like
Yeah.
if they're coming around the corner on you, you're screwed. But if you got like a sight line on them, it's like I'm not gonna
It's
say
like
it's
they won't even try to challenge you anymore. It's
yeah,
they know now. It's they just
exactly.
stay away. And now it's just a like kind of stay away sign. Now if someone pops their super, like, all right, where are they? As soon as you
Exactly.
see them, you just backpedal as fast as you can. Backpedal, backpedal, and
You backpedal,
pretty
you
sure.
run, you put yourself into a good position, and like I said,
Yep.
energy weapons do enough damage, like bonus damage to them, like because as soon as their shield drops, I mean, they can still get away with a kill. Like it becomes like a chance once that you break their shield, but it's it's like supers aren't like that terrifying, like really, which is interesting.
I think the only super I'm still terrified though is Stormcaller. I still feel Stormcaller's ridiculous. You hear that pop. No matter how far you try to run it, somehow Stormcaller's still fast enough to catch you. I can
Yeah,
never get away from a Stormcaller.
it's like the range definitely isn't Destiny One range. They seem to have like toned Tickle Fingers back,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's still rough to get away from them, like because all you need, especially if you have any kind of hesitation as you're running away from a stormcaller, you're
Yep.
done. You're fried. It's
Yep.
like that one moment, like you're not running, like maybe you're contemplating challenging. Yep, you're done because you've just given him what they've needed to catch up and fry you. Yeah, I definitely feel that. I'm actually amazed. Like, it's not often, but occasionally I'll run Arc Strider in PvP. I'm still
Okay.
amazed at how good that feels. Oh my god! Like being used to what became of Arc Blades in Destiny One. Like Arc Striders still feel. They don't feel different, true, but by God, they still feel amazing because they are what Blade Dance kind of wanted to be, without being too horribly strong.
Yeah.
Because that is nothing like. I was actually stuck in a situation running in PvP. It's another one of those things like I had a predetermined like path, like mapped out in my head. It was kind of like the Sherlock Holmes movies where everything slows down for him, and it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to move on. Well, it didn't work
Yep.
out like that, but I had that. So I saw it's like, okay, the first person I'm going to see, I'm just going to jump, and I'm going to like stick slam them, and then I'm going to be done with them, and then I'm going to move on. Well, he interrupted my plan because as I was in the middle, like in my jump and just about to slam on him with the staff,
Hmm.
he popped hammers.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh crap. I land down right on top of him. And of course, for Arc Strider, you have to pretty much hit twice for Arc Strider to be able to kill a super. So I
Yep.
had the first hit, but by God, I was mashing my light attacks like freaking crazy just to make sure I got the second hit off before he got a hammer off, which I thankfully did. But like I said, I had that path. I had a thing in mind. It got completely screwed over, but I still came out on top. And somehow. Like I said, I was frantic.
Have you noticed? Have you noticed that your Titan phases through opponents?
Phases through.
Yeah, like I've had a couple moments like when I'm playing as a Sentinel Titan, I'll hit someone, and then they come at me with the sword, and usually with sword you get two hits with the sword while you're
Yeah.
Sentinel, you're dead. Well, I'll hit them, they'll hit me, and then they'll go through me, and then I'm like lost because I'm like, oh, they're completely behind me. If
Yeah.
their sensitivity's higher, they're gonna beat me. But if
Yeah.
my sensitivity's higher, I beat them. But it's just weird that I run through people, especially as Sentinel 2 doing the shield bash or whatever, the shield
Yeah.
charge. That's another one too, where I'll shield charge someone in their super, and then I'll go through them. They'll still take damage, but I go through them instead of like stopping right in front of them. And that's throwing me off like
That
crazy. I don't know if that's just me or if that's something else that other people are feeling.
that might be a latency thing. Okay, I'll be honest. I haven't. Usually when I'm on my Titan, I'm striker because my God, roaming Fists of Havoc is fun. Like even if you only get one kill, it's still like really fun to like go super fast and like hear those heavy freaking footsteps coming down the map. Like
Oh yeah.
you feel like a monster chasing somebody. It's just fun. Like I say, I cannot get a kill, but it's still a blast popping fist. Um,
Yeah, I've main Sentinel Titan since the beginning, and that you know how you have those the emblems now that have like your
oh
kill
yeah,
tracker on it.
yeah.
I'm at 13,000 kills with my Sentinel.
Ooh, nice.
I'm pushing up some pretty high numbers up there, and like I had the Bungie bot emblem
Yeah, yeah,
from the Destiny 2 pins. I have
yeah,
one
yeah.
of those. And then I kept seeing other people with like the gunslinger one with like 1,000, the stormcaller one with like 3,000. I'm like, those are some pretty low numbers. And my buddy's like, "Why? What do you have?" I'm like 13,000, and they're like, "No, you don't." And I put it on, and it says my power level,
Yeah.
303, and then underneath it 13,600 and some like other numbers, and it's like stands out like crazy. I'm like, all right, I'm motivated now that I need to stay on Sentinel Titan until I hit 1 million.
Nice.
So that is now the new carrot on the stick for all of Destiny 3, or until Destiny 3, hit 1 million kills with Sentinel Titan.
For sure. I don't even keep those on my hunter anymore, so I don't even know where I'm at there.
Ah, man, yeah.
But
Maintenance since I've been able to have it, I haven't really taken it off. I played this. I'll switch it for like the Nightfall challenges or Strike challenges and stuff like that. That's when I'll switch just to do those challenges. But other than that, 24-hour Sentinel. I love it. Love the fact that I could throw 4 shields
oh
right off
yeah,
with my the way it's all built up and how I have it. Throw one right off the bat, knock some people out. Shield bash one or two, throw another shield, miss, throw another shield, miss. I'm like, God damn.
yeah.
Run around a little bit right before the super ends, get to throw my fourth one. And I usually get at least one extra person with it. If not, I just throw it just for the fun of it. But four is my consistent now.
Yeah, like we've said before, you've got to aim them
Oh
suckers.
yeah.
I mean, there might be a little bit of tracking to them, but there ain't much.
I'm
Um,
I think I need to make a montage though, because I've gotten some that are pretty ridiculous where I'm just randomly throwing. It bounces off a random wall, and behind like a corner, there was a Titan or another person crouched underneath that I didn't even know was there. I just randomly threw the shield, and it pops up behind them and just wrecks their face. I'm like, oh my god, it's hilarious.
like whoops.
Yep.
Alright. So let's see here, and from Lazarus the Lich, also from our Discord,
Mhm.
which you can definitely need to join as you're listening, because these people, a lot of these people are hilarious and great people. But besides additional story, what else would you like to see in Destiny 2 expansions? I'm sorry, there's things other than additional story. What? Sorry. Um,
For
uh,
me, it's I don't know. I feel Destiny 2 is missing those crazy armors. Like, yeah, there's a couple of them that are on fire. There's one with the big old sheep horns or goat horns or whatever they are. But there's not, the taking gear set. There's
Yeah.
not, the the all on fire Iron Banner set.
Yep.
I feel like they went back a little bit on gear. Like they're holding back on us. I know they can do it. If they could do it in D1, they could definitely do something amazing in D2. But I felt like if they would have went right off the bat with those kind of things and then build on that, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like they showed us they can, but at the same time, like it did take them like 2 years to
Yeah.
really pull off the really crazy stuff. And because I'm sorry, nothing. You actually make me almost want to like load up D1 just so I can see my Days of Iron my ornamented Days of Iron gear on my hunter again because
Yep.
oh that was
That was
so
nice.
fast.
It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So I can definitely see that, but at the same time, it's like we'll definitely be seeing that. I feel it's
Yeah.
like because I mean Bungie does have the habit that things will get better with time. The designs will get out there with time. They're just easing us into this for now. Which, for us that have come from Destiny 1, this is just like watered down stuff.
Hmm.
But I mean, think of all the newcomers and like all the mind blowing crap. Like, imagine giving someone like just someone fresh started like all the Rise of Iron like armors and like the differences between it all. It's just like, yeah, it can overload. Like probably. I mean, I definitely still want it. Because yes, that is. I would like to see. Uh, I don't know because I just want to see. I just legitimately want to see what Bungie has done. Like legitimately because I mean, look at like House of Wolves. Like House of Wolves was one of the better vanilla Destiny like expansions that came out,
Yeah.
and it gave us trials. It gave us so much. It gave us it pretty
Prison of
much
Elders.
it pretty much started us on the infusion system, essentially, with the
Yeah.
etheric light. Anything you had could have been brought up to max light with an etheric light,
Yep.
and so I mean, it gave a lot of things that would eventually like lead to what like a lot of systems that we know now, and like really like reined in like because that's also the first that was the first time that's when they got rid of the need of like planetary materials and upgrading damage on your weapons and crap. So I'm kind of waiting to see which expansion is going to be that for Destiny 2. Like, what's going to be the big game changer for Destiny 2 is going to be the first one, which I doubt it.
With what is
Or
going to be the April update, pretty much.
yeah, yeah, that like that too. And it's like, so what? Yeah, when's it going? Like, when or when's going to be the expansion to drop that just makes us like our jaws just drop, like House of Wolves did, like I said, the April update did. Uh, Days of Triumph, I guess, would be Rise of Irons. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the ornamented grade stuff that they brought back did look amazing, but it wasn't anything incredible. Well, the Daybreak stuff was nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can't really put a finger, like a specific answer on that question because when Bungie does something crazy and right, they do something crazy and right, like completely out of left field. I mean, which, private matches, of course, don't apply because, the community begged for that forever and a day. But, I mean, things like the Supremacy game mode, which we're all still being tortured with. Almost, I swear, almost every time. It's like 6 times out of 10, I load into quick play, I get Supremacy. It's like, Bungie. But no, it's like I want to see what else they do. I mean, even with Destiny 2, they introduced us to Countdown, which God, I actually love Countdown. I mean, I really like it. I still don't know how I feel about Survival, really.
I'm more of a survival fan than I am of Countdown, though.
That's fair.
I
You're
I
entitled.
feel
You're
yeah.
entitled to your wrong opinion. No. No. Uh, oh God. But no, like I said, I don't feel that I can't. I for certain cannot easily answer that question because it's like holy crap. And then Burning Wing has brought to the attention uh, a friend of the RNG cast, one Mylan Games, has put out a video stating that there is apparently one mission, Enemy of My Enemy, that has a secret ending to it.
Yeah.
Like as you hit like I forget where it is, like where this mission is, like what planet it's on.
It's Titan.
Okay, it is on Titan. That's right.
Yeah.
That explains why they're using Sloan as the thumbnail image there.
Yep, yep.
Just like dummy. It's like stupid. Why don't you stare at it? But yeah, there's a mission which I think hilariously, I think I actually murdered them both when I went
Yeah,
through
me
this
too.
mission. So I didn't even pay attention.
One dubious volley knocked out both of them for me, so I was like, I didn't really have a chance there to actually see it.
Exactly. So I mean, I think the only thing I would say about that, I mean, because a lot of people apparently are in the thought that these missions can only be done once, and I'm wondering exactly how many of these people actually visit Akora. Because Akora is your like, I mean, it's random and it's like 3 random missions a week. But I
Yeah.
mean, you are able to replay 3 random missions a week. So I mean, there is a way, I think, to go back and check these missions. Like, because I mean, with this information out, people are definitely going to start scouring these missions for like,
Any kind of hints
yeah,
or tips.
that. And I wouldn't be surprised for the next hunt for like the next, oh crap, Black Hammer.
Yeah.
Based, or not Black Hammer, what do they call it? Black Spindle. There we go. I would not be surprised, like, you know, the hunt for the next Black Spindle starts happening all over again. Because, good God, that blew up, like, once people originally found it, it's like, okay, we have to go through every mission on the road.
Oh yeah. Twitter, Twitch, everything was blowing up like
I know.
crazy when someone found that out.
And
It
then
was like middle of
hilariously,
the
like,
night for me.
yeah, and then hilariously, like, a lot of people were actually right, because people were like, oh, but if you do the Paradox mission, there's, like, this entire area that, you know, like, opens up and you, like, explore it, and there's this, that, and the other. Everyone's like, yeah, right, that area's been there forever, which is true. That area after Paradox has been there since Vault of Glass.
And they did it just because of that too.
Exactly. So I
They're
mean,
like, yeah,
that's
we hear
great.
you.
Then all of a sudden they're right, and it's like, oh, okay,
Oh.
go figure. They finally did something with this space, which is again like one reason love, I still love like the lost sectors and crap, because they're using like what would be in Destiny 1 these like empty nooks and crannies like they had all over the place. They're not
Mm.
empty anymore. You can actually like shoot crap in them, which yeah, they give you blues, but oh well, they're still pretty.
I've gotten an exotic out of what do you call it?
Oh,
One of the lost sector chests. Yeah,
nice.
I got an exotic
That's
Ingram
got
out
like
of
a
it. So I was like,
small chance. Holy
I'm
crap.
pretty damn sure it's pretty small, but
um,
there's a possibility there. I've knocked out all the lost sectors though. Like
oh,
I've gone
nice,
to every single one of them
nice,
now.
nice, nice, nice. I was about to ask because I know you had that goal. I like every time I see a symbol and like I said, I definitely have my favorites. I haven't found any new favorites yet. Because I keep like kind of hovering around the same routes, like when doing things. So
Yeah.
I'll revisit my favorite ones, but like every time I see, uh, there was one I actually got surprised. I was trying to, I think I was trying to do the challenges on Titan or something on Titan. Oh no, it was a patrol mission on Titan about killing Hive in the rig, I think it was. But like the Hive weren't easy to find, so I'm
Hmm.
sitting there like searching around for where the Hive could spawn, and all of a sudden I'm like heading down. I was like, lost sector discovered. Oh, oops. Didn't mean to do this. Crap. Um, so I went ahead and did that real fast. It wasn't anything like too impressive, but like I said, I just love the fact that you know these little nooks and crannies actually have like purpose, and that's enough for me. Like exotic chances are nice, so I'll probably do them more often. But but I just like Yeah, I've been like the explorer, like if I don't have anything like to do, because I was one of the first in my group to, like I said, find what would become the opening area of the Saber 2 strike in Destiny 1. I had actually found that like in the second week of Vanilla Destiny, like that entire area, and just
Oh, the grottos. Yeah.
yeah, the grottos, and just because I got kind of bored and just started running around, and all of a sudden it's like, oh hey, what's this area? Oh hey, there's a bunch of hive. Oh wow, there's like an entire cave system here. Oh hey, look, there's an ogre, and oh hey, this goes like to the middle of the Sephic strike. Cool, but that was it. And then it took them like a year and a half to even do anything with the area. So it's like, well, fantastic, but I don't feel like there's a lot of that here. And like, I also don't feel like a lot of the areas are big. Well, I'm going to say like the European Dead Zone is huge, like for sure. That
Hmm.
that that is like that map is ginormous. I'm not going to argue that one. I think Nessus feels fairly large as well. Io isn't bad. It's kind of smallish compared to the others, but Titan, um, Titan, uh, Titan is kind of tiny in comparison, to be honest. But I do love the fact that it at least has like levels. You know, like there's multiple floors to a lot of the areas like that you can check out, and I really do enjoy that.
Yeah. It's lost sectors are interesting. Just the fact that they have those little tidbits of story in them too.
Yeah. And I think
Little tidbits too. Zer's out. Have you checked out Zer this week?
yes, I have checked out Sir, and once again, I bought like pretty much. Okay, hilariously, hilariously, I would have bought literally everything he had,
Hmm.
but just before that, my Titan guy had an engram that turned into the ACDO feedback fences.
Nice.
Didn't need one of those, but I definitely did get because I was not one to get my hands on a dubious volley beforehand,
Yep.
but I have it now, and my God, is that thing fun?
Oh yeah.
Not extremely effective,
Oh.
but fun. Um, and I have yet. I was about to lie. I've killed myself once with it.
I
Never
was
mind.
about to say, I'm like,
I,
whoa.
I have killed myself once. I was about to
You're gonna
say
make
I've
the,
yet to kill myself, but I have killed
you're gonna
myself
make the
once.
Cheeto feeder.
Yeah,
The what you guys call them the Cheeto fingers. You're gonna get them mad and upset.
I
They're gonna
know,
prove
right?
you wrong. They're gonna pull up your stats and just screenshot you, and they're
Oh
like,
my
"Oh,
God,
that's
he has
the
one suicide kill with the Wardcliff coil. Oh my God, he's
Guardian
such a
Theater
liar.
is
He's
gonna be
so
pulled
bad.
up, and here's the clip, and here's your proof, and
Oh God. But yes, I have murdered myself once with it. I'm surprised only once. But then again, because I know, I usually fire it when I'm in the air.
yeah.
I do not fire it when I'm stand with my if my feet are on the ground. I jump before I fire. All right. So spoiler alert. They're selling the Wardcliff coil. What is that? It is a very nice rocket launcher. It is unique in PvP right now because it is the only rocket launcher that only gives you one rocket, as far as I know. Like most rocket launchers will actually load up two rockets when you grab power. Warcliff Coil will only load one. So keep that
Mm.
in mind. Like if you, because I actually ran trials and I got murdered by a Warcliff Coil, or actually just a regular PvP. I don't even remember anymore. I was running something. I got murdered by a Warcliff Coil, and I was running with Converse, and he's like, "Well, that was his only shot." It's like, "Yeah, it was all me." Fantastic. I will say it's a fun gun, though. I will say it's a fun gun. It definitely looks like something I've worked around in some factories, held together by duct tape and wire ties. Looks like. Um, well,
Other than the Wordcliff coil, he also has the Four Tracer.
ah, Four Tracer,
The
yes.
The hunter helmet. I heard really good things about that one. And someone broke it down finally on what the actual like stat upgrades and everything like that were for it. I just
Mm-hmm.
gotta find out where they were.
Thought I heard it
Uh,
was like a 3% or sub 3% in PvP at least.
something like that. Something. Someone broke it down. I think it might have been. Where's he at? Oh, I can't find it. But yeah, someone already broke it down on exactly what the boost is when your health is low,
Yeah, yeah.
compared to like what their health is low. And they're saying it's pretty damn good, and the fact that it does the whole tracing thing too, right? It gives you like
Exactly.
the Night Stalker perk that used to be like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, which actually I think now applies to tethered targets.
Uh,
I think. But yeah, Foe Tracer is nice because, like I said, it does give you that basic. It was part of Keen Scout for
mhm.
Night Stalkers. Like if you aim, of course, that's like the danger of it too, because it also holds that if you aim at someone for too long, they're marked, and if they're marked, it's on their screen that they're marked too. So definitely hunters, be careful with that. Like you can kind of give yourself away. Like I've noticed it before. Like I'm probably definitely going to see it more often now that they're selling it. But I have noticed it before, like of not having any shots taken at me, but all of a sudden I'm marked. And it's like, okay, let me get out of this wide open area real fast. So definitely like, because this is definitely a good exotic because it has that, which I think is hilarious. They're also calling it Relentless Tracker, which was the old perk that gave you the detailed radar. But I guess since that name is taken, it's being definitely repurposed, which no harm, no foul there. Good grief. Titans, as also kind of spoiled before, we're getting to ACDO feedback fence, or ACD/0, ACDO. Either way,
ACD, yeah, ACD zero. I could go for that.
ACD overall. Whatever. They haven't changed much. I don't. Melee kills build up explosive energy within the ACDO field feedback fence. Being struck by a melee attack unleashes this energy in a devastating explosion. Now, these actually became like my best arms I had for my Titans. I actually ran around with them for a bit just for the power level boost.
Mhm.
And these, like, you actually get when you get a melee kill with these things, you get a buff. And this, I think this is called like Fury something, or Vengeance something like that. But either way, it's like whenever you get a melee kill, you get this buff. You get another melee kill without taking melee damage, and it stacks. So it's actually a stacking buff. I didn't see like how far it stacks, but I did confirm that it pretty much stacks. And then as soon as you get meleeed, it's it well it does what it says. It is definitely yeah it's Fury Conductor is actually the buff because that's the name of the perk. Duh, idiot. Read anyway. Um, So yeah, they work pretty much like they did in Destiny 1, except for the fact that now you need to get melee kills in order for them to damage the person that meleeed you. So they need to basically get charged. And then once you charge them, then the first time you're meleeed, that charge is consumed and damage is dealt. Dep- Theoretically, depending upon how many stacks of that charge you have. Which I'm not a big enough fan of the ACDOs to you know do that experiment. So I'm going to leave that to someone else that actually likes these things. I definitely feel though that they're not, like I said, they're not bad. They're not awful. It's just they've definitely been reworked because it's hilarious that a lot of like the exotics coming back are kind of those that needed like that love and or that special touch basically. And but yeah, that's like this is one of those things, and I feel like that they rework it really, really well. Have you been trying the feedback fences?
No, I haven't even touched them yet. I'm stuck on my what do you call it? On my boots, the lion ramparts.
Oh yeah, the lion ramparts, the Gundam legs.
Pretty much, yeah. I've been stuck on those since I've had them, and just keep just leveling those up.
Nice, nice,
So now those are maxed out. So
nice.
I haven't, but it's between those or the Dune Marchers. Those are my two favorite exotics.
Nice.
I had the chest of Alpha
Yeah, yeah,
Lupi,
yeah, Alpha Lupi.
whatever. And
Lupi.
that was
Yeah.
my first exotic that I've had, and
Yeah, yeah.
that was pretty fun to have until I got my boots, and once I got that, there's no stopping me.
Yeah. And then, for you warlocks, no surprise here, because it's kind of tradition that we build these things. Formerly known as Sunbreakers, now Sunbracers, are being sold. The Warlock gloves that had a pretty solid use in D1. Like, it was good enough to be used. Gave you an additional solar nade, increased the duration of your solar nades. Like, they were necessary when cheesing Templar back in Vault of Glass.
Yep.
Like, pretty legitimately. Pushing him right off the edge. Hilarious to watch. Hilarious to watch. But, where they still, their intrinsic perk, Helium Spirals, increases the duration of solar grenades, but instead of giving you an additional solar grenade, grenades. My God, where did that come from? They grant grenade energy on solar melee kills. God, my English today. But again, this is not something I've tested. So I don't know exactly how much of a bump to grenade energy this gives you. But just the fact that it increases the duration of your persistent area of effect grenade, like in D2, is really good. Because area of effect grenades seem to be like really, really strong. Like to use, like I said before, like using a pulse nade. I mean, solar nades work the same way. You drop it down on a person, you start firing on them. You're increasing your TTK, and you're essentially, like I said, make yourself that much harder to kill for your adversary. So, like, area denial, like in D2, just feels really, really strong to me. Um, Alex, do you even have a warlock, or is it Hunter that
No,
you screwed over? I was about to say.
I am literally gonna main three Titans the entire Destiny 2. I am not touching Hunter or Warlock.
Okay,
I
that's
am
fair enough.
main
You're
I'll
just
main
being
three
patient.
Titans until probably like the last week of Destiny 2 when they're like, all right, well now you have to, do this and this and this so you get all the cool stuff in
Yeah,
Destiny 3.
yeah, here's your
Then
Moments of Triumph book. Have
yeah,
this class and this class do these things.
yeah, when that happens, then I'll put a Hunter and a Warlock on and I'll just
That's
keep my
fair.
main Titan. But for now, three Titans. I'm not gonna bounce around from it. I think that was my problem with Destiny 1 and why I couldn't focus on competitive as much as I wanted to, just because I didn't know which one I was good at. For some reason, in Destiny 1, I can go flawless in my Warlock, no problem. Every time I play with my Warlock, I was easily getting flawless and not having challenge. I switched to my Titan, and we're playing the sweatiest teams of all teams, and we just never win. And my Hunter, I just never gave a chance to. But so this for Destiny 2, I'm definitely sticking all three Titans just for the fun of it. Even though I started my second character, but I haven't got him up to even level 20 yet.
Okay. Okay. Now, also one thing that I just reminded myself on, like looking through Zer's crap, um, when you get an ornament for an exotic now, I've actually had this happen where I dismantled the ornament for an exotic I did not have, literally like a day before I got it. Like, I
Ooh.
had an ornament for the Fighting Lion, which
Hmm.
is the energy slot grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I had an ornament for it, and then I deleted it, and the next day, my next exotic engram I got decrypted into a Fighting Lion. The good news is that ornament I could actually still use. and put on my fighting lion, which I think it was the jade lion
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or ornament, I think it's called. But yeah, so apparently you don't need to hold on to your ornaments. Like they can be used on your exotics even if they're not physically in your inventory anymore. And
Really?
yes, well, like I said, that's what happened with my, like, it's probably, I will probably get like some nasty mail. It's like, you liar, you said it would hang on, it didn't. Well, screw you for believing me, alright? Um, but, well, like I said, I was able to delete it, like, a good, I'm wanting to say a good 24 hours at least had passed, before I got the exotic, and I was still able to apply that ornament to the exotic. So take that as you will. If you still if you still want to be cautious, I don't blame you. I would be too, if I just heard it. But yeah, so that's the thing, and I'm like I said, I'm kind of glad to figure that out. Um, as accidentally as it was. Of course, even then, I don't. I think there's only 3 exotics I don't have yet. I think. Not 100% certain on that,
Uh-huh.
but I think it's definitely. I definitely don't have any of the snipers. Definitely don't have any of the snipers.
Yeah,
Of
me
course,
neither.
I'm missing a lot of like exotic armors. But as far as weapons go, like I said, I don't have the PlayStation one, which we won't talk about much, out of respect.
That's
Um,
fine. You can rub my face all I want. I'll wait till next October, like
I know, right?
2 years from now, where it finally does get released.
I know, right? That was literally like even one of my most painful things reading about. It's like, oh yes, the PS4 exotics now will be exotic or be exclusive until fall 2018. It's like, oh Christ,
Yeah,
oh Christ, no,
still waiting for my Zen
stop
meteor.
it. Oh yeah, you're never gonna see that one.
Yeah.
Oh, ugh, liars. But um, but I will say, like, it's like uh, Borealis is actually really nice because apparently by holding reload, you switch your element.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Yeah, like that's how the quick play by holding the square button, like it. That's how you cycle through the elements.
Man,
Which I haven't gotten one. I don't know many people that have, but I do know like I think it was last week's Nightfall while they still had when they had Prism going. Like
hmm
one of the people I ran with was using Borealis, and it's like, oh, that's the smartest thing ever. Um, but yeah, and I don't have Darcy. Um,
I have yet to even see what a Darcy looks like yet.
yeah, I don't
I
know
am
myself.
blind to Darcy right now. I can't wait to
Uh,
get it.
let's see. I have Fighting Lion. I actually do have Sweet Business. I'm not sure. Other than the snipers, I'm not sure if there is any exotics that I don't have. Because I got Wardcliff now, thanks to Zur. I do have the tractor cannon, which is fun. Kind of meh, but fun. Prospector, or Risk Runner, Graviton Lance, Fighting Lion, Hard Light, Cold Heart, Vigilance Wing, Sweet Business, Sturm, Rat King. Oh yeah, the one from the raid. That's the third one. There we go. All right. I was trying to figure out. It's like, so where was it? Yeah, it's the raid shotgun, which I haven't completed the raid yet, so I don't have it
I
yet.
have that quest, and I have the next step since I beat the raid, and I can't beat the next step because I don't
Oh, there's a
have
next step
crew.
after the raid.
Oh yeah,
What's the next step after the raid?
it's like a nightfall that you have to do. Pretty much, it's prism.
Oh,
It's a prism with a time limit with anomalies, and it's
okay.
it's ridiculous. It's the gun thief one or whatever it's called.
Gun thief one?
No, the first nightfall. What was it called? Right.
Christ. Yeah, I can't
Gun
even remember anymore.
gun bandit or
Yeah, something like that.
something like that. Something weapons or arms dealer. That's what it's
Yeah, there
called.
we go.
Arms
There we
dealer.
go. Woo!
There it is. I got there sooner or
We
later.
figured it out. We got there.
Arms,
We
yeah,
made
it's
it.
the arm dealer strike, but you have like the nightfall modifiers
Yeah.
on it, and it's all 300. Like, or 300 power level, which is ridiculous.
Also, on a side note, I believe they've actually fixed, or at least corrected the issue that Prism had.
They got
Now,
rid of it on Nightfall. On this week's Nightfall, they just completely got rid of it
well, they had
instead
it
of
last week. They still used it last week.
yeah. But
But
for this week's Nightfall, they had it on there at the beginning, and people were saying that it was too hard or too difficult,
huh,
so they just straight up removed it.
that's weird. Because, like I said, I wanted to say that like they sent out something that's like, oh, hey, we fixed it, but or at least like they made it to where it was showing up like it was supposed to.
Mm.
Because Prism was actually bugged in the fact that it was actually supposed to continually. Because the only time it would pop up is when it changed, and then it would go away. Well, it wasn't supposed to go away. It was supposed to just stay up there. This light, fills you or whatever.
Yeah,
It was
that'd be
supposed
very.
to, yeah, it was
That would have
supposed
been
to stay
helpful.
there. Which I think, like I said, no confirmation on this, but I think they actually, like one of the hot fixes actually fixed that. Or that might be like the Monday maintenance for it or something. But they also have mentioned, I know, like, it's come across the lines that Bungie is working on making it a little better with, like, maybe a better visual and slash or audio cue to help tell you when it's changing, which would be super bueno. Um, because sometimes it can be a bit of a hassle um, to continually. Well, I mean, as long as it stays up there, it's fine. Like I'm cool with it. But like as it was, I kind of dug the challenge, but it was also annoying because if you missed like when it would change, it's like, well, I guess I'm using my kinetic until it changes again. Um,
Yeah, if it stayed up, that'd be way more
yeah,
helpful.
yeah.
Because that way I'm not asking every single like 5 seconds, what's the bird? What's the bird?
So what's the change to? What's the bird? What? Did I miss solar yet? Because I'm running golden gun. Did I miss solar yet? Oh god. I think the last bit of Destiny news I have is I actually fixed I had an issue, like without having like an intimate knowledge of these guns yet. I've had an issue with like what to keep on my characters when I'm not using them. Like I'm still using like Mida like 450 RPM auto rifle,
Hmm.
like as my main loadout. Like I said, that's like my main loadout, and like I was resorting to putting blues on my characters if I wasn't using them. But I've come across a fix to my problem, and if you are like me, here is a fix that you can do too. Just get Mida for all three of your characters. Your problems are over. Because that's what I did. Legitimately. So that way, it's like, if I plan on doing PvP or just screwing around in patrol, by God, I've got the two weapons to help keep me covered. Unless I just want to screw around with something else, and then I'll go get something else. But yeah, that's been my fix. Because like I said, Resort is like, okay, I need to keep blues on all my characters and just make sure everything goes back to my vault. You know what? Screw that. I had like 3 different 450 RPM auto rifles. Now they're spread across my characters. That way they'll have at least that at all times. So yeah, I'm part of the problem. I'm part of that. I'm part of the Mida problem in in D2 Crucible for sure. Because I was more of a laid back like playstyle in D1, and now that it's a team shot like mechanic going on. Yep, Mida's right. I'm right back there with Mida.
Hmm.
Even now, getting assists that count as kills.
The trials report, people already saying that 93% of teams have at least one Mida user.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, I've seen that drops myself.
Like,
Good
that's
God.
ridiculous. You can see Midas everywhere. I tried playing trials yesterday. Last night, it was literally just Mida after Mida after Mida and one hand cannon
Yep.
or one random submachine gun that you know is the dude getting carried, but it's just
Oh,
ridiculous.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, forgot to mention too when you were talking about ornaments. I don't know if you noticed this too. Tess Everest, you know how
Hmm.
she sells those ornaments?
Yeah, yeah.
The price goes up when you have the exotic,
Oh.
which I thought was sketchy and very, very low balling bungee
Mm.
tactic. But I go to Tess Everest. I check out her things.
Yeah.
She has the Sunshot and the Red Legion or
Oh yeah,
the
that one. The
yeah, the Red
Skyburner
Legion,
thing. I don't have
the
that either.
Skyburner gun or whatever. And I'm like, cool. There's for 800. Dust. Glimmer dust or whatever the thing's
Yeah.
called. And I'm like, cool. I'll pick these up when I get the gun. Sure enough, a couple days later, I get the Sunshot. So I'm like, awesome. I'm gonna go pick it up for 800. I go to it and it goes up to 1250.
Mm.
And I'm like, why is this one 1250, but the one next to it's still 800? So I'm like, that's kind of sketchy and kind of messed up. Like, buy the ornaments for cheap before you actually get the weapon. That's a pretty low ball, and I wasn't a big
Well,
fan of that. I still bought them, but
yeah.
still.
I mean, it's definitely that's an interesting thing. I mean, I just recovered myself. I mean, having been unemployed for a lengthy amount of
Okay.
time taught me not to blindly buy Bungie's crap. Um, now that I have income again, though, it's a test. I will say it's a test, like to still not buy Bungie's crap. Um, but I'm still to the point, like especially for ornaments and crap. It's like I'm cool with waiting still. It's like whatever I get, like from a bright engram, like the fact that bright engrams are given to you for like level, like prestige levels or whatever, or however you want to like equate them. I still really dig that, and that's like a really interesting mechanic. Like I said, I'm having an ornament be more expensive if you own it. Hmm. Yeah, that's weird. I mean, at least it's not an exuberant amount. I'm going to say that. At least it's not like double the amount. But
Yeah,
still, meh.
it's still an increase, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. That
that's a, that's a little sketch for me. I'm like,
yeah,
man.
that's a little weird.
It took me down a peg on Bungie's list. It added too much salt. It was a little extra salt to not wanting to buy more, just for the fact that and I don't think it's what do you call it. Like, I remember like the chest from Destiny 1, it would help you. So if you had an item that you didn't have before, the next couple boxes that you would get have a better chance of getting that item for you. So that way you at least have a chance of getting all the items. I bought quite a bit of the new Bright Engrams, and I still haven't gotten everything. It's keeping legendaries away from me now, or instead of giving me actual like emotes or legendary, like an art, like it's not giving me any of the armor yet. Like I've gotten a full set of the armor, but now that I dismantled them, I kind of want it back, just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And it's not giving me duplicates of that. So I'm like, okay, so I can understand not getting duplicates, but at least give me something new. And it's taking, 2 or 3 extra bright engrams just to get one legendary. Because
Hmm.
other than the legendaries, I'm getting just more dust. And I'm like, I don't want dust. I
Oh
want
yeah.
I want the legendary or an ornament or something that's worth the money that I put into it. And
Yeah.
that feels like it's not there. I feel like they're holding a lot of it back now, even worse than they
But
were before.
at the same time, it might just be from the fact that it's since bright engrams and like basically the paid content is now like on a progression system. Like maybe like it's more because the boxes were limited quantities.
Yeah,
I mean, they were limited quantities a week unless you bought more. Um, and even then, like it took them a while to get to where the boxes would be weighted more towards the things you didn't have. But I'm going to say like I guess since this is like a progression system and this is I'm assuming just the normal, Eververse thing to buy. Like, I'm assuming that isn't there because maybe this is more of a long-term setup. The bright engrams are, and
Hmm.
maybe if they introduce something else, maybe that will have, the box feel to it. Maybe.
Yeah, I just feel like they changed the way that they were. I thought they were going to be like Destiny 1, where it was, a better chance of getting something you didn't have by opening a chest, but I guess not. I guess they are making it more of a random thing to get now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like I said, we'll definitely that'll have to be something. Um, that'll have that something that like requires like an eye for sure. Because if something, I would be more okay with bright engrams being that way as long as if they're not adding something to it and then keeping that the same. Like if Festival of the Lost, or if we have a Festival of Lost again, chances are we will. But
More
when
than
that rolls
likely.
around, and if they add Festival of the Lost stuff to the bright engrams without changing it to be more weighted, then that's definitely a flag for me. But if they come out with like a whole separate thing for Festival of Lost, like Festival of Lost box, then it would be more understandable, I think. Because like I said, if the bright engrams were designed more for long haul, and the
Hmm.
fact that you're not limited to them, like a person can play like, well, I mean, it's limited to whatever playtime you have,
Yeah.
which is automatically more beneficial to those who are paid to play the game. Which all I can say to you people is GG, living the dream.
That's true.
uh, yeah, I think that's about does it for that end, and we have the Buster of Knuckle in our chat at the very least.
He is. He showed up.
Yes, he did show up a little late, but no worries, buddy. We still love you. It'll give you something to listen to at work, um, your own podcast, the, the one that got away. But since he's here, we can move on to the RNG challenge that I and Alex partook last week. How did you do on that, Alex? How far did you make it?
Not even one episode.
Not even one episode. Like, did
No.
you start watching it, or did you just like not like at all?
I just did not. No, I didn't have the means to get to it other
Fair
than
enough.
YouTubing probably like episode clips.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, I'd rather just not because I don't know.
Okay.
It hasn't intrigued me that much. I wanted to. I really did. I gave it an honest shot to try to get to it.
Fair
But
enough. Well, I took this challenge. I started it. I today have finished season 3.
oh my god.
Um, like I said, I was gonna get. I said I would give it a shot. I've given it a shot. I've continued to give it a shot. Um, I will say one thing. Like, this is my opinion of Game of Thrones from the start of season 1 to the end of season 3. Like, one opinion that I can definitely hold to of this series is it seems like it kind of started as a joke, but then it kept being pretty much how I described it. In the fact that Game of Thrones seems like Lord of the Rings for dummies. And I don't
Oh.
I don't mean that negatively. I only mean the fact that it's it's like a simpler plot than what would be in Lord of the Rings. Because I mean, Lord of the Rings has a lot of twists, has a lot of turns. If you haven't at least watched the movies, definitely watch the movies. But you have you know you have wizards posing as one things and possessing other people to do their bidding for other things, but then they have secret desires and wants of their own and trying to do this other thing while serving this dude. None of that in Game of Thrones. At least nothing like out there in your face. Um, I've noticed like a lot of the foreshadowing is very like ham-fisted, like in your face type stuff. Like usually so far, whatever's like, if it's not mentioned in like season 1, and like something happens, In season 2, that thing happens. Like, pretty much immediately. Um, but right now, I find myself liking the characters more than the plot. Like Tyrion Lannister, that's my boy. Like good old Dinklebot. That's my boy. That's a great. I mean, he was definitely not the character. Um, he's definitely not the character I thought he was. Like from everyone's like pretty much like of him. But he's definitely not a douchebag, and that's a plus in my book right now. But like as another reason I say that is you actually have like in season 1 the bad guys you're introduced to, like the real douchebags of season 1, like you're introduced to, like these are pretty much the people that are like one dude sleeps with his sister. Yeah, he's a douchebag. Another dude is like groping his sister. Yeah, he's a douchebag. I mean, the evil people are doing like evil things, basically, like very societally not okay things, like by today's standards. So it's like the bad guys stick out like a sore thumb. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's simple. And there's nothing wrong with simple. It's just and like it's easy to follow. I will say that it's like all the plots are like really easy to follow. There are a couple twists. Nothing that you can't see coming if you're used to more intricate things. And it definitely seems like the fantasy aspect isn't like one of the forefront things. It's like, it's definitely not as fantasy as Lord of the Rings. Good God, no. This is not like wizards battling other wizards like in 4,000 foot tall towers. This is a bunch of people fighting over a throne. Yeah, that's my season 1 through 3 review of Game of Thrones. So it's basically like the story of Camelot, which actually legitimately is what it reminds me of. It does remind me of like some of the more realistic like takes of the King Arthur tale, like in some movies. It's like that's kind of what Game of Thrones reminds me of. It's like got enough fantasy in there to like pull questions into things and make things make sense to a degree. But otherwise, it's kind of like if you're going in there expecting like this big, huge fantasy, you know, Harry Potter Avada Kedavra versus Patronus spell, whatever the crap that matchup was in like the 8th movie, you're not getting that so far. But I don't hate it. The characters are cool. Like there's quite a few cool characters like that you can get behind. I'm definitely am waiting to see like how some things are turning out. It's like I said, it's not a show I'm minding, but at the same time, I'm still wondering exactly how it got so popular. So yeah, that's my opinion of Game of Thrones. It's like it's not bad, but it's kind of meh. Kind of meh. Definitely watching the series, like, it doesn't give me like much interest to read into the books. Like that's for sure. Unless like the books are magnificently plotted out and they're just like focusing on singular plots for the series, then maybe I'll give the books a shot. But if the books are like this straightforward and kind of simple, no, no, I'm good. I'm good with Saberhagen. I'm fine. But no, so like I said, me personally, I'll keep watching until something happens that I grow disinterested. I mean, I'll keep it going. At this rate, I'll probably be done with it by next week. But yeah, so that's my thing. I mean, I've seen it now. I guess you can throw out. Buster will be glad he can throw out references that I might get.
I'm still out of the loop. I still might have to give it another shot. I have to see.
I've also got to say, one thing that, like, from the moment I started watching Game of Thrones, It's like one thing that it's confusing to me now because every time someone mentions White Walkers, it's like people clam up and like shut their mouths like it's some big huge spoiler of what they are. And it's like you see what White Walkers are in the first 5 minutes of the series. Why can you not say White Walkers are zombies? Because essentially, it's kind of what they are. They're some kind of undead and reanimated creatures. Why can people not say that? I mean, I'm getting to the fact that they kind of involve around something big, but at the same time, it's like, why can't you just say what they are? It's like there are so many people that I've heard talk about like Game of Thrones. It's like, oh, but White Walker's this, and it's like, how far have you? How far have you? It's like, dude, it's just like literally the first 5 minutes of the series. You can at least tell people they're zombies. So yeah, you can at least say that.
That's one thing that I have been trying to catch up on now is The Walking Dead. Now you're talking about zombies. I'm actually starting to catch up to it where I'm on the Negan challenges
Oh,
or his.
Negan.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. I've seen pictures of him. I've seen what he's done.
Oh,
I've seen what he's done because spoilers are everywhere now in this world, and there's no such thing as secrets. But I mean, I liking it. I'm starting to like it again. I'm starting to pick it up where I'm like, okay, I need to watch a couple more episodes. All right, maybe a few more. All right, one more episode. All right, one more episode after that. But it's getting there. It's getting pretty intense and pretty crazy.
yeah,
So that's what I'm looking forward to now is coming home, watching a couple episodes before I have to go pick up my kid.
yeah. On that respect, I will say like be glad that you're starting a little later, like after Negan's arrival,
Yeah.
because one thing, I mean, no huge spoiler, but I mean, I think it's season 6 ends on a huge cliffhanger. And then season 7 like picks up like pretty much right where it leaves off.
Hmm.
So at least you don't have to wait 6 months between that, or 6 months to a year between whenever they did that. And Buster, I'm sorry, but White Walkers are dead people that are reanimated. They are zombies. Like layman's terms, they are zombies. They are different from walkers, yes, but they are zombies. Reanimated dead people are zombies. I mean, come on. Come on. Basic definitions here. I'm not saying like the Walking Dead White Walkers are like the Walkers. I'm not saying White Walkers are walkers. I'm just saying they're reanimated dead people. Unless there's some big plot point that proves me wrong, that's what I'm seeing. And that's like pretty much what everyone says. In which case, if I actually now watch me start season 4, and it's like some big episodes like White Walkers aren't actually dead people. It's like watch me just be completely proven wrong. Like after this, just by the show itself. But
Turn out to be dragons.
I know. Oh, oh. Which I've got to say also, like, speaking of that, there's like, oh, what are they called? What's that chick's name? She becomes like the queen of like the savage tribe or whatever, and like her storyline is like really like what's really interesting to me, I think, because she's kind of like also the most like fantasy aspect of like the thing. All right, and as Buster tells me, those are warriors. I'm like, I'm sorry, but they're calling them White Walkers. I'm going by what the show's telling me. They're saying White Walkers. Unless White Walkers are also like the thing that was doing the thing, that did the thing when he died. In which case, that would
Well,
make a little more sense.
what if the warriors died and they became the White Walkers?
Oh, I mean, White Walkers, like whatever these
I
things
don't know.
are, they're definitely reanimated dead people. Like, there's an aspect to them that are reanimated dead people. Sure enough. But there is at least one of them that dies weird. I'll say that. and kind of gives a different thing. So, I mean, maybe the actual White Walkers are necromantic liches. Who knows? Because I don't now. I'm only speculating because Buster's screwing it over for me. I'm kidding. I love you. But yeah, so like I said, I'm going to keep watching. Like I said, unless something happens to make me entirely forego this new series, I'm not hooked. I'm close. If the plot actually improves and gets better in any way, or like the fantasy levels like jump up in any way, okay, all right, cool. So that's okay. All right, so as Buster's telling me, yes, the one dude was an actual White Walker, so that's fair. All right, so warriors to the White Walkers are zombies. Then I'll correct myself. So I've yet to figure out what White Walkers are. That's actually kind of cool, because that is like one... The only bad thing is, like, that's the one thing that, like I said, a lot of foreshadowing is usually very quick in this. White Walkers, not so much. They're taking their sweet freaking time with letting you see, like, White Walkers and, like, what they are and what they do. I mean, you see freaking dragons before you see White Walkers. Essentially. But yeah. And I've also got to say, like I said, considering the Call, or the leader of the Savage Tribe you see, is like he was the Conan in the remake, and he's the new Aquaman. I gotta say, he made a better Call than he made a Conan. IMO. Just saying, just throwing that out there. I'm not putting the blame on him, because he wasn't the bad part of it. It's just remakes and blah. I personally don't really enjoy remakes. I think that's about it. Alex, do you have anything else that we are in dire need of covering?
In dire need of covering? No. That's pretty much it. I'm spent.
I think so. I think that's about it. Like I said, we've covered our Destiny stuff. It's hilarious. Like, without Buster, these shows would go like very much faster. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Oh crap, we're still recording. No, I'm kidding. Legitimately, I'm kidding though. It's just a quicker episode. Alex, why don't you tell these wonderful, wonderful people where they can find you? Drogo was his name. Thank you, Buster. Yes, Drogo. Call Drogo. He's a great actor there. But yes, Alex, where can people find you?
You can find me all over the internet, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, as known as Alex. Find me there everywhere, Monday through Friday, mostly on the weekends as well now. But try to keep a constant schedule, but life happens, you know that.
For sure. Good to hear. This has been, will be, forever shall be, your boy Raven. You can find me on Twitter at DES_Raven. You can find this show on Twitter at the RNGcast. If you're not watching us on Twitch, why aren't you watching us on Twitch? Twitch.tv/the RNGcast. You find us, well, if you're listening to us, of course you know where to find us on all podcasting outlets. That is something we used to drop, and I don't know why my mind went back to like 65 episodes ago. But yes, tell your friends. You can find us on all major podcasting outlets. Do believe this is it. Buster, we miss you. We cannot wait for your return. Because this is extremely awkward for me. I mean, not at all painful and weird. I love you all. But this has been the 71st episode of the RNG Cast, and we are out.
Peace. It was awkward. I'm waiting for the later man.
No, right?
Wait, am I doing the businessman or are you doing the businessman?
Oh crap! You all next week. Hopefully that's good enough. Oh my god!
I'm pulling my ear for it.
My god, I'm leaving all of this.
All right. Thank you guys.